Guys, on today's vlog, I actually wanted to shift gears a little bit to a bit of a personal situation that I had happen on the weekend. My daughter Madison is an up and coming performer. She loves the arts, she loves music, she loves dance, she loves acting. And she tried out for a role on Frozen. In fact, she was going to be part of Frozen the musical, and the role that she tried for was little Anna. She worked her ass off for 2 weeks, learning every single line, learning every single note, working with pitch and tone and just articulating herself perfectly. In fact, on Sunday, she came into my room and said, "Dad, I just want to give you my last final dry run." And it brought me to tears. Maybe I am a little bit biased, a little bit, but the way she executed was phenomenal. So her and I rock up to the audition. It's actually here in South Melbourne of all places. And I gotta tell you, I was absolutely shitting bricks myself. But as we rocked up, I kept saying to her, "Maddie, just focus on what you're controlling. Focus on what you're capable of. Don't get distracted by all the noise and the background that's going on here at this trial, and just focus on what you can control and what you're here to execute on." In fact, maybe even go as far as putting a curtain around you and the instructors and just focus on that. And then as more people came, she started looking around going, "Dad, I know that girl over there, she's amazing." And I had to reshift her focus to say, "Don't worry about her over there. I think what you've got here is amazing. Don't get distracted, just execute, execute." I let her in because of COVID. Parents weren't allowed to come in. They told me to come back an hour and 15 minutes later. An hour and 15 minutes later, I rock up and literally having walked aimlessly in South Melbourne, really anxious for her. And I rocked up and the door opens. And the lady comes out and she says, "Hey, all the kids that are about to come out, thank you for their time. They're no longer required." And the door shuts and there's no sign of my daughter Madison. And I'm like bawling my eyes out, like, holy shit, she's still in there, giving it a go, punching her way through. She's only little, yeah? But she's only 8, but she's in there handling her business like a professional. And so the door opens again 10 minutes later, and the lady comes out and says, "Thank you to all the parents, the kids that are coming out now. We're really grateful for their time, but it's time for them to go." And the door shuts and there's no sign of Madison. And I'm like, holy shit, she's into the 3rd round. This is actually gonna work. She's gone and blown them away like she blows me away. And then 5 minutes later, the door opens again and 2 kids come out, and the lady says, "Those kids that are coming out now, they're no longer required." And my daughter Maddie was the 2nd kid that came out. And she came out and she was okay until she got in my arms. And she's like, "Dad, I did everything. I did everything I could to execute what I showed you this morning in your bedroom. I was 100x as good in front of the audience there, and I didn't get chosen." So I had to, as a parent, pull her out of the scene and pull her away from the situation. And we walked across the road and we found like this little gap, and we sat on the edge of the gutter in between these cars where no one could see us. And I put my arm around her and I was like, "Babe, did you try your best?" And she goes, "Dad, I did better than my best. I've never been that good." I go, "Babe, that's all you could ask for? There's nothing that you could have done better or different to have executed. So if you reckon you're walking away and you've done your best, then nothing else matters." And she's like, "Well, maybe I could have tried harder." I was like, "But you told me you did your best." She's like, "No, I did my best." So I'm like, "I know this one sucks and this stings, but you know what? My mom used to say to me, as one door closes, another one opens. And unfortunately, this door is closing on you. You're not going to be little Anna for the Frozen musical here in Melbourne. But maybe next week or the week after, or in 6 months or a year's time, something bigger and better is going to come for you." And she's like really down in the dumps. She's like, "Dad, I don't know, but like, if that's what you say," like she was very, 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 very disheartened. And I kind of thought a little bit about it. Like, as a parent, should I have exposed my daughter to this? And part of me says, like, I don't want her to be put in harm's way. And I don't think she was in harm's way, but it was a bit soul crushing for her. But at the same time, I kept reaffirming that there's nothing she could have done more. And what they were looking for, she didn't have. Whether that's skill or a look or something else, she just didn't have what they were looking for. And it wasn't on her, because she's to remain true to who she is. And at the end of the day, she's coming to a loving home where her mum and I are, just taking care of her and just making sure that she's learning and growing, and she has an amazing little sister, although she's a little rugrat at sometimes. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter what happened outside in the real world. You're coming home to a loving home where we love and care for you and we think you're amazing. Slowly, as the day went on, more and more oxygen and more air got into the situation, and the rawness of how she felt started to dissipate. And I took her to Chatty just to give her a bit of retail therapy and take her mind off stuff. We just grabbed a burger and kind of just hung out. We didn't actually do much shopping, if any. And we're driving home, and I turned to her and I was like, babe, tell me the top 3 things. She's 8. Tell me the top 3 things that you can take out of today. And she's like, Dad, as one door closes, another one opens. I was like, do you really believe that? She said, yeah. She goes, today wasn't my day. I didn't get the win, but that's okay. She goes, I've got to remain positive no matter what. There's no point beating myself up and saying, God, I really wanted that and it didn't work out, and now everything should just go out the windows. And she's like, and I've just got to keep executing. She goes, my time will come. Those were her top 3 tips from a situation that she was in at 8 years of age. The reason why I tell this story is, 1, I just wanted to get it out of my system and share with you and be vulnerable for the few minutes that I've got your attention this morning. But 2, I actually reflect on that a lot, and the advice and support that I kept giving her leading into it and on the back end of it was actually advice and support that I reflected on and I should take myself. Yeah. And so I just wanted to put it out there to you guys. I'd love to hear your comment section or comments in the section below on whether or not you've been in a situation like this. It doesn't have to be kids. It could be venture related. It could be startup. It could be I fumbled the ball in a footy game or a basketball match and we lost the championship. I want to hear where you felt like you failed and how you rebounded from that, and how that failure was a lesson to give you this sort of like shield and armor to go into the next battle and become out victorious. So guys, that's my 2 cents for today. I hope you really took something out of this message. And I'm proud to say that today is actually another day, and Maddie showed up to another audition, and my wife called me to say that she went strong, and we remain to know whether or not she made the cut. But this is all about growth. And so long as she doesn't fall over, and so long as she doesn't get hurt or scarred, then I think, feel free to call me out, I think that this is only good. This is only building resilience and character and teaching you how to adapt on the fly. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks.